The next speaker is Steve Turner. Now, Steve Turner is the director of the Connected Places Catapult. Steve is director of the devolved authorities at the Connected Places Catapult with over 25 years of experience working in both public and the private sector. In his role, he works in the interface between local government and business. So prior to this, he was a digital cities leader for Arup, where he delivered the smart city strategy in the UK, Europe, and the Middle East. So again, we have somebody with immense experience in smart cities. So Steve's talk is titled The Social and Economic Benefits of Smart Towns and Communities. So with that, I'll hand over to Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much, David, and for that introduction, and thank you very much for inviting me to join this really interesting webinar and very timely webinar. Many of you will be pleased to know that I'm not going to use slides today. I'm just going to talk, so I hope my face is pretty enough. A little bit about Connected Places Catapult, if I may. So we are the government's, the UK government's urban innovation agency for towns and cities. And we're really about connecting places, both digitally and physically. As a government-funded agency, we have money to invest. So that may be a well of interest to a number of you. But what we don't do, we don't compete in the marketplace with people like my former employees, such as Arup, or industrial organisations such as techno companies such as Siemens. But we operate in that interstitial space between public sector organisations and industry to create innovation and to stimulate the market. So that's a little about Connected Places Catapult, and you've heard a little bit about me. I was also, just for interest, I led Manchester's smart cities work for nearly a decade. So I actually worked in big city environments as well. I guess to say technology impacting towns, cities and rural places is nothing new. They've always been impacted on and always been disrupted by them. I think the challenge is the ability of city governments and towns and rural areas to actually capture and harness the benefits that technology brings. And we need, you think about the invention of the internal combustion engine, how that allowed those places to spread horizontally, and the elevator allowing them to expand vertically. The work we're seeing around digital and data is creating new challenges, but also equally new opportunities. And Linda gave me the title of social and economic benefits, which are myriad. And I think it's probably fair to say that in some ways, and I'm not trying to dodge this, I still think there's the case still to be made for some of these benefits. And that's primarily because so many of these technologies are new. And as a consequence, the actual business case for them over a period of time has yet to be proven. But that's not to say we shouldn't be thinking about investing in innovation and thinking about innovation as an investment rather than a nice to do thing. So just a few examples, if I may, about where we've seen technology driving both social and economic benefits. We've heard a lot about infrastructure already, so I won't dwell too much on that. But if we start to think about transport infrastructure or energy infrastructure, the use of data essentially allows that infrastructure to be sweated, to be used more effectively. Around energy, we can start to think about energy generation, the data collected for energy generation, how much is needed, the demand on that energy source, how much is needed at what particular time, which then allows us to put in storage for energy as well. So data, therefore, allowing us to move towards much more decentralized energy systems, smart grids, for example, which are much more customer focused. A second area is around crowdsourcing of ideas for community benefit. Quite a few applications out there, really, and the Brickstarter being one of those, where very much at a low grassroots level, technology allows communities, individuals to come together and put forward ideas, ways of improving their local environment, things they'd like to see, and crowdsourcing those ideas, and then allowing technology companies to come along and create solutions, work with public sector providers and private sector providers to actually build those. We're actually working currently at the Connected Places Catapult on a national innovation platform that starts to link communities and public sector organisations with the local technology system. And that's my third example, if I may, is around growth. We talked a lot about reform and efficiency savings, but equally there are opportunities in this sector around growth. The tech sector itself in 2007 and 2008, the last recession, was one of the very, very few that actually grew. Our work so far across local authorities seeming to indicate that as we go into or in another big recession, is that tech sector is surviving and doing well. Admittedly, when it's working across some domains such as air travel, there are issues, but a lot of that talent and that pool of skills is being picked up by other technology companies. So we are seeing resilience in the sector. And when you start to look at some of the economic recovery plans that local authorities are putting together, implicitly or explicitly, they are investing in this sector. And I think that's important because they see that sector as a route out for them in terms of economic recovery. And that investment is either in the businesses themselves around skills and training, but also creating the right space and environments for these businesses to start up, to grow and prosper. As I mentioned, the National Innovation Platform we're developing at the Connected Places Catapult. This is essentially a platform, a digital platform that enables communities, public sector organisations to identify and create challenges. And they could be something from their local challenges, they could be potholes in highways, there could be issues around health and social care, around transport, anything really. But that also allows SMEs from the local sector, SMEs in the technology world, to come together and to provide solutions, or scope out solutions in a collaborative way to some of those challenges. They can also see what the public sector is procuring, but equally the public sector can see what capabilities and talent exist within the local ecosystem to provide some of those solutions. So that's really generating not just a win-win in terms of creating better places, in terms of addressing challenges for businesses to locate and people wanting to live in a place, but also actually investing directly in local business. So I'll probably finish there, but with one comment I perhaps should have said at the start, which I've often used in the past, which is, and a number of the panelists have also said this, for me and for my organisation, Smart Cities does not start with the technology. It absolutely starts with the challenge and societal challenges, and then work through those challenges to understand the right technology to address that challenge. Thank you.